Welcome back to Mystic Quest. This is the theme song to the game. Hi, James.
Hi. We're doing after recording.
Yep. Because, you know, it's one of them things.
Because we're noobs. But
as we've already kind of gone over in the previous episodes, we're going to be doing it differently. So we're kind of just fixing it up as we go.
These are all very early episodes. Extremely early. So, yeah, that's why we had so much trouble. But hopefully that won't be an issue anymore.
Hopefully. You know, we're getting better as we go. We know it's a learning process.
And if I remember correctly, in this episode, we did a little bit more preparation in the town, and then we headed out to, like, the volcano, I think?
Oh, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Because we gotta go to the, we gotta get Ruben's dad.
Oh.
And he's, like, on a cliff.
He's trapped under a rock, right?
Well, next to a rock.
Oh, next to a rock.
Because we literally have to throw bombs at him. Oops,
the multi-key. See you again, kid.
Yeah, we'll be joining you later in the forest. Spoilers. Ooh.
Oh.
Spoiling a game that's, 20 years old plus at this point? When did this come out? Like 90s?
Oh, okay, so we open there.
And he's going to give us a bomb.
Okay.
But we're talking you know what's... We've been kind of taking, shots at this game. But we should be pointing out, what do we actually look for in RPGs? So, James, in your opinion, what makes a good RPG?
I talked about this in one of the other episodes. It's story. Always the story.
Purely story?
I mean, yeah, mechanics are nice, but that's bells and whistles. Like, they should, at bare minimum, mechanics should function correctly and be convenient. At maximum, they should be interesting and doing things that add to the gameplay and, like, try to, make the game fresh and, like, lively, I guess.
Well, I don't know, because I'd certainly agree that story is definitely a major feature that makes you want to keep playing. But actual gameplay is a must, because it could be a great story, but if the rest of the game is broken and it's no longer fun to play, then it's not really an RPG, And there's plenty of, like, quote-unquote games that are just a storybook type thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just look at visual novels, but
right, which are garbage. At least most of them I've seen are.
Most of them are, but the few that oh man, that's for another time. But you're not wrong. A lot of them are garbage. But let's see. So what do we? Oh, okay.
We found a warp tile.
We used a warp tile.
So we're like, yay.
I know, riveting commentary.
We're not doing much.
Yeah.
We're not even fighting it. We're just kind of wandering around town.
I believe you're under the controls, which is good because...
watching some of our earlier episodes, especially when the backgrounds are kind of weird looking, you seem to have, like, these visual difficulties figuring out where in the world you're going.
Well, yeah, I mean, can you blame me? Like, in the ice giant area, the floor and ceiling, like, there was supposed to be a representation of, like, lower and upper level. Mm-hmm. And that was not clear at all. It just wasn't. It was, and because of the simple tile work and everything, it made it, like, so hard to figure out. So, I think it wasn't really, like, my fault, as much as, like, the game was just not being clear of what was higher ground, what was lower ground.
Oh, Ruben, you're asleep.
Also, look at these skeletons, ready for the skeleton war.
Yeah, and I'm just going to point out as soon as we kill these things that we were just talking about backgrounds, and it's a real humdinger. This
don't you like brown and brown? Turd and slight clay-colored turd?
Well, it doesn't even look that brown. It's actually... Okay, he's going to be dead. Like, on my perspective, it looks more pinkish. It looks like a pink mountain.
Yeah, pinkish brown.
It's an odd color. Pinkish brown.
So what are you? Oh, okay.
I was testing to see how far I can throw bombs.
Yeah. Interesting. Huh.
And then I was like, nope, not worth it.
And you're like, fuck it. These chests aren't even, like, shiny. Fuck it. Time to ride the conveyor belt away. Yeah. since you mentioned it's all pinkish, it looks like we're inside a living thing instead of a volcano. Kind of creepy.
We're not in the volcano yet.
Well, whatever. There's lava and shit. We're in like some mine, I guess. Yeah, whatever. It just looks like flesh, which is
which
far
would be creepy.
more. Yeah, and that's blood down there. It's horrifying. Skeleton
There was an RPG.
warrior.
I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me because it wasn't mine. It was like a friend's.
Uh-huh.
Where like one of the areas was like literally inside like a living like giant creature.
Was it like a turn-based RPG?
I think so.
Huh. I
thing
can't
is, like,
draw
it was-
anything from that. I don't know.
I mean, it was late '90s, and I honestly cannot remember what it was. And I played like a brief snippet of it because like the
Well, describe the gameplay. I doubt you know like the name or the company behind it, but
no
How was
the
the
gameplay. I
gameplay?
mean, gameplay was
Standard?
good. Yes, I would say sort of standard. What made it interesting was like you instead of like one major quest, you get to pick like one character to start off with of many characters, and then
Okay,
they all
okay.
have their own sort of story, and then sometimes they link up with some of the
it's
other
one
guys.
of those where it's like their paths cross, and
Right.
like you pick a certain character to stick with,
Right, and like
then you
there's
can
and like
change it up.
right, and of those main characters, you can also pick up like secondary characters.
What the
that
fuck is a tree doing in here? Ah,
Good question.
whatever.
Why would a mad plant be anywhere near fire?
Maybe that plant man.
Let's
God.
and fire lizard, salamander.
I still don't know that. Like, it could be a number of games, even with narrowing it down with the whole pick a character to get their side of the story.
Yeah, I honestly don't.
There's a
remember.
few that did that.
I
Not
just-
many, but a few. And
I just remember
don't
that
know.
like one of the main playable characters that you can do for like the story was a robot.
Okay, well
and-
that's different.
Yeah, so it wasn't like. Granted, it was like it was still sword and sorcery type things.
There's nothing.
And what was interesting about the robot was like potions and heal spells couldn't recover it. You had to use like
Yeah, that
parts
makes
and
sense.
batteries to make it recover its health.
Like
And its first storyline was like it was in a battle arena because it was like a battle robot or something.
Uh-huh.
And so you were trying to get through that and then survive. But the rest of it, I honestly don't remember.
The rest of the characters had different stories that kind of related to it or something.
I mean, like I said, like each main character had their own story arc, and they started off completely different. But I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
And as I said, it wasn't mine. I didn't play it. I just saw like a brief thing.
That's a mummy, not a zombie. Game, you liar! I am a mummy made of toilet paper.
Oh no, you've got me down to my underwear. Just still bandages.
My linen cloths. But yeah. Huh. I can't, like, the only games I know where you go inside something is Zelda 64, where you're in the Great Jabu Jabu.
Oh yeah.
Which creeped me out as a kid, still kind of creeps me out as an adult. And then there was Jet Force Gemini, where you entered a giant maggot and you exited the
gross.
giant maggot through its bunghole. And it's amazing when like you're entering creatures that are so fucking big that like it doesn't matter that you're shooting or slashing inside them. They're so big it doesn't even do anything to them, unless maybe you cut like a vital like artery or
I
something.
would probably say that even with, you're probably still doing damage. Like I can't imagine a sword hacking at your tissue, not doing something bad.
Yeah, of course, but like you remember in like Zelda 64 as like Link, you could slash along the walls and it just like there'd be like a little spurt of like blood, but that's it. It's not like the thing would like retch and move, you know?
Yeah. Although the only thing I remember from that is like the fact that the Zora girl is so lazy you have to pick her up.
Ugh.
It's like, come on, you can't. I mean, I get you. You can't understand. You can't have
Continuing
a following.
continuing the tradition was Medley, where she was so fun. Well, no, she wasn't as lazy because she would actually fly.
Well, no, she would follow you. You could tell her, "Come on," and she'd follow you around.
Yeah,
But it was just faster to pick her up. Plus, if you held her, you could soar a little bit.
yeah, exactly. And
you
then she'd get tired.
And then yeah.
And then you fall and you'd be like, "Fuck, Medley, fuck!" And like you die. But well, you fall down a pit and lose a heart to move, whatever. But yeah. If you don't get it, I had a hard time with that. I mean, not a hard time with that dungeon, but I did that a lot. Well, I misjudged the distance of a flight, and I'd just be like, "We can make it."
Well, that's sort of like
YOLO, and just go. And
that's sort of been like that's sort of a consistent problem with 3D games is
yeah,
figuring out your jump radius
your
and
depth.
your
Yeah.
depth. That's always a tough thing.
Depth perception's kind of difficult sometimes. Yeah. Man, fuck this place.
I know. I think at this point I'm like, I don't know where I'm going because it all looks the same.
Well, like we said in another episode, just follow where the monsters are. That usually is a good clue.
Thunk. It's a tough thing, like, especially when you compare this to some of the other Final Fantasies.
No, that's where people start raging and saying like, this is fucking garbage.
But even within the Final Fantasies, like how different they are.
Yeah.
Like 6 and 7, like are widely considered the best of the series, and those are like night and day in terms of.
Oh yeah.
You know, some of their mechanics, like the basic mechanics of like, you know, hit button to attack, that's all good. But like the way the characters move and everything, and the fact that you're going from 2D to 3D makes it different. But then you go to 8, which I freaking hate that game.
Oh man. Oh, which was man. Like my don't even mention 8 around Will. He fucking he had high hopes for it because he just completed 7. He had it on his Steam account and he just completed 7. He's like, it's so good. He's like, now I see why everyone loves 7. It's so good. He's like, to move on to 8. And then I see him in a few like a week or two later. I was just like, so how's 8? He's like, well, it's definitely not as good as 7. I was just like, ooh.
No, it's such a strange thing. Like, honestly, to be perfectly honest,
people love Leon or Leon, whatever his name is.
I could care less about him.
The gun,
and that's one of the problems.
The gun,
I could care less about.
He's just so like boring. Like they're trying to make him mysterious, I guess, with his like stoic. They're trying to make him stoic and whatever, but he's just boring. He comes across like yeah, I know he has a bit of a personality, but not much, and he's just so emo and boring and like, I'll get you with my gunblade, and like, you know,
and the gunblade wouldn't actually.
And if
work.
you actually dissect, if you actually dissect the story, like the ending, I'm not going to spoil the ending, but if you actually dissect the ending, it actually doesn't make any sense.
No, that's what I was going to get at, is the fact that
because they tried to screw with time travel, and when you don't do it correctly, time travel screws with you.
It wasn't even needed.
It wasn't.
But as I was about
just
to
making
say,
your story convoluted and overly complicated for no reason. Yeah.
In all honesty, I would rather play Mystic Quest than Final Fantasy VIII.
Hey, you were playing Mystic Quest.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's because I hated the draw system. Because like I hate the fact.
Oh,
that,
Will didn't hate it as much as most people, but I was asking him about it. I was like, isn't the draw system annoying? He's like, yeah, it's kind of bad. He's like, but yeah, there's worse things.
You know, I hate the fact that even if you're walking along the field, your rank, which you shouldn't even have, can drop mysteriously.
With no discernible reason. All of a sudden.
Yeah. You know, I didn't like the fact that the enemies leveled up with you. I hate that. That's an overarching for all games.
Yeah, because
I absolutely hate that because there's no sense of progression.
I mean, I guess it's kind of interesting because you could go to your level 1 baby area and the monsters are still somewhat of a challenge.
Which I don't like though.
Yeah,
there's no progression of your characters. Yes. If I'm still having trouble with the enemy the first enemy I ever fought, then my characters suck.
I like in Earthbound where it's you're so much stronger that the enemy just they give up. They're like, we're done.
They'll literally run away from you, and if you touch them, they'll just automatically
die.
It's
you won.
There's no point in wasting your time. Dunk, they're dead.
What other games did that? There was other games that were just it's not worth wasting your time, so you win. I forget. I think there was I forget. I can only think of Earthbound that did it because
that's the best example.
Yeah, the best example. The example that always sticks in my head.
We'll have to get the Earthbound one day.
You think mummies wouldn't be hanging around here? They'd Lennon Cloth catch on fire from the fucking lava sitting right there.
That is true.
But yeah. Anything else to talk about? Shit.
Oh, I'm sure we could.
Because look at all the interesting. Well, let's see. We're just clearing out right now. I wish we knew what we were talking about. I don't remember.
At this point I was like,
because guys, if you know, it's been months.
Yeah, at this point, they were redoing the roofs on my apartment complex.
Yeah, now obviously they're not. Now they're doing the sides.
Yeah, now they're doing the sidings.
Luckily, not doing the sides over here. But yeah. Well, let me think of some of my video game examples. There was I can't think of anything. Can't think of anything that like.
Some of the ones that are, since we're still on the topic of RPGs, which is a game that like games franchise or genre, I should say, that I really grew up with and really loved.
Yeah.
And it's also like a proven concept of I don't have ADD because I can sit down and play RPGs for hours and not get bored. Whereas how different, like, because we're doing turn-based RPGs mostly, but then when you go to like action RPGs like not Breath of Fire, Secret of Mana or Star Ocean, where you're constantly moving and you're trying to keep track of how you cast your spells and how you attack. Like, that totally changes up everything. Like, it's a really interesting way to go from one to the other.
Like Paper Mario. I love that. Where it's like, you're constantly like... That's a little bit more turn-based, but it's like with the action commands, it spices things up, and I love it. Paper Mario is one of my favorite series. I haven't played the newer ones, like Sticker Star, but I heard it's not too good.
I've only played the first one. Which is a good one.
Very first one?
Mm-hmm.
All the way through? Mm-hmm. Nice. Who was your favorite party member, your buddy? I liked Bombette. Even though Watt was better.
I'm trying to remember. Like, I know I used the Goomba Kid quite a bit.
Oh, because he was just...
Just because, like,
he was just solid. Like, even in later game, he was still pretty solid. And
I had the timing down because you had the...
with the head bonk.
Yeah. I had the timing down best for him. Plus,
how
being able
beast
to see
baller is that? A Goomba's using his head to attack. When you see Mario crush them by that point, that's like using your like Achilles heel to slap someone in the face. I don't know, like, and let me use the weakest part of my body. Well, I guess he doesn't have much of a choice since he's only a head basically and feet. But yeah,
well, he could have been a biter.
Oh yeah, bite.
They've got giant teeth.
Huh? Yeah. I mean, heck, the bomb's attacked by exploding. Bombette attacked by exploding, and she's not gone after one use. But yeah, like,
I'm sorry if my audio is going back and forth, but my foot has fallen asleep, and I'm trying to reposition.
Closer to the mic, yes.
Go into the light. I can't. I don't want to.
Like, I think you played more RPGs than me because I played like what? I played Lufia. I haven't played much Final Fantasy at all. I played a bit of Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest is just old school. Like you're having trouble in this field? Well, fuck you. Tough shit. You're gonna have to grind. You can't afford your sword because it's 30 pieces. You're only getting 2 pieces. Well, fuck you too again. It's just like, oh man, and like oh no, I'm in this dungeon. I hope I have enough heals to get through this dungeon. Mm-hmm. If I don't, I'm fucked. I can't make it back to the door and get out.
Yeah, another good one that I don't think gets enough recognition is Wild Arms. That's a great RPG series.
Wild Arms, yeah. I just like the idea of it. It was like the Western mixed with the like steampunkish. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Yeah, and what's nice is like
solid music and like from what I saw from like videos online, it just like looked like it was just a pretty good game. Like interesting enough story.
Oh yeah, it's definitely good.
Yeah.
And they even made a remake of it. So if a PS1 is not your speed, they got a PS2 version with same story, but like all the like everything's been redone. It's not like it's a total remake. It's like everything from the ground up has been redone.
Oh, nice.
So and they even added to it. So both are definitely solid. Although I would still prefer the original. And even though again it's like PS1 era,
well, it's just kind of like me
stuff and graphics, it holds up definitely.
Like I know. I said this before, but like I prefer Lufia 1 to Lufia 2. Even though Lufia 2 improved on all like the fighting system, the everything. It's just like I was more attached to the characters in Lufia 1. Even though I was really attached to the characters in Lufia 2. It's just the story was good in Lufia 2, but the story I thought was better in Lufia 1. And I know a lot of people will disagree with me, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I've only played Lufia 2 once, and it's not a game I own, so I don't remember it very well.
Yeah.
I usually have a good memory for that sort of thing, but not that one.
You can emulate it. Oh no, I said the bad word. Huh. Well, actually, it probably wouldn't be too hard to find. I'm like, there was a fair amount of copies. It's not like Evo Search for Eden where there's like only like 7 copies in the fucking world or something like that.
Or it's not like the Xenogears game that a lot of people love.
Yeah. Ooh.
Which I Or Earthbound, or Suikoden 2.
Which you have.
I do have that one.
Do you have Suikoden too?
I do.
Damn.
I have most of the Suikoden. I have, like...
You have some rarities right there.
Yeah, and what's funny is, like, I didn't... Like, that one I bought new.
Yeah.
Like, at the time, because, like, I played the first one, and I bought the first one, like, at a flea market or something.
Uh-huh.
And I really liked it. So I was like, oh, the second one's out. Let me get it. And now I've heard it's a really rare, expensive game. It's like, well, great. I got a rare, expensive game, but I don't care. It's an awesome game. That's another good series, too, where it really takes, like...
Yeah, I had a friend that was really into it. I never got to play them, but it just seemed like a pretty interesting series.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in my estimate, like, I would definitely say 2 is probably the best story-wise.
Mm-hmm.
Gameplay-wise, I would say 3 improves it because, like, there's army sequences where you have to move troops around and battle.
Does it go kind of like Advance Wars or something?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Where you have, like, units and each one has... Yeah.
Oh, nice. It's kind of cool to, like, mix it up.
Mm-hmm, and, like, you have, like, the mounted cavalry, you have archers, you have mages.
Oh, so it's even, like, kind of like Fire Emblem.
Kind of. And... You know, what's interesting about that is your characters can die permadeath in those sequences.
Okay, it really is like Fire Emblem.
So it really makes you, like...
Get tense.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit. Better not... I gotta get my A game out.
Right.
Because if you fuck up...
And the problems with the first 2, at least, and I think maybe even some of the later ones where they went back to making it difficult, was the fact that... So, like, it seems like it didn't really matter how strong you actually made your guys.
Uh-huh.
It was just, like, it didn't really matter, it seems, like, once you got onto the battlefield.
Yeah.
Whereas in 3, it actually, you could level up your guys, and then they would actually be better.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't really like that in the first 2, just because, like, this is a guy I've been using since, like, I first got him. He's, like, level 70.
Yeah.
And he's on this unit, and this unit is getting destroyed by this other unit. I don't get it.
Like, his level 70,
like
it should make a difference.
Right, and it felt very much like...
It would if, like, in Fire Emblem, if your character's, like, you know, up there, then, yeah, it's gonna make a fucking difference.
Like, it almost felt like rock, paper, scissors. Now, granted, like, certain units... No. I mean, it wasn't, but it felt like it. Because, like, certain units will be better against others, like... Archers will be better against cavalry, let's say. Or,
I see, yeah.
Or mages will be good against whatever.
Yeah.
So you have to match that up to get the maximum effect. But sometimes mages, you can have... I forget exactly what the breakdown is.
I know, but it's just funny. It's like mages will be good, whatever. Yeah, nerds.
But sometimes like, you could have like the optimal like, okay, I'm gonna do a strong attack with my best thing here, and it's weak. It's strong against this. I should decimate them, and they don't. Like they'll miss, and then it's like, why? It just makes no damn sense.
Lame. Yeah. Oh man, Ruben Stutters is down.
Yeah, I remember this. Like
and you're like, shit, he does like 300 something.
Oh no, like I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna lose because like he's destroying me, and then Poison killed it. I was like, yes, thank God I poisoned him.
That was like a mini boss, right?
Yeah, that was a mini boss. Whom we'll meet again later as a regular enemy.
As a regular boss. As a regular enemy boss, not boss.
Yeah.
You've been demoted.
But yeah, I would rank like Suikoden 2 as like best in terms of story. Suikoden 3 would be next as my picks.
It's just a bunch of lame ass chests.
Suikoden 1 would be third.
Oh wait, never mind. You can jump across or whatever.
No, this is where we...
I can blow up a boulder with relative
Why couldn't he
ease.
climb down?
That explosion wasn't anywhere near the... Yeah. Rah.
I don't get it. Like, there was nothing stopping his path. He couldn't climb down. Not very good at really explaining game.
We did it! We did it!
Huzzah!
Yay! We did it!
All right, see you in the next episode, guys. We kind of talked about nothing.
Yeah.
But RPGs.
Bye bye.